Hey guys, I'm Bill, and this is WHIM Pottery. And this is our first video ever, and I am so excited to get it started. So today, I just want to tell you about how we got started and what are we doing today that's different from where we were just a couple months ago. So my wife had planned a trip for our family. It's myself, my wife, and my son to Sundance, Utah for a ski trip. Sundance is a little resort area, so we went out there and found out that we hated skiing. I hate it. My wife hates it. My son even hates it. We don't like it. That's great. But while we were there, we took this pottery class where we just took a piece of clay and threw it on a wheel and made something. So I made a little mug. My wife made a bowl. My son made a bowl. And boy, it was just stuck with us. And we were really excited about it and want to learn more about pottery. So we started researching, and of course, my wife said, hey, I found a couple of really cheap wheels on the internet. I said, well, cheap is probably what you get, but hey, it's worth to try it. So we bought really 2 wheels and some bags of clay, which we had no idea what we were doing. Still don't. Either way, this was just 2 months ago. We sat down, we got some clay, and just through that little class, we can remember some techniques. So we threw together, threw a piece on the wheel, spun it up, made an ugly looking mug or an ugly bowl or whatever, but it was fun and it was enjoyable, and we did it together as a family, and we all loved it. So that's kind of where we started. Today, we are getting better, but it's only been 2 months, so we've got a long ways to go. But we love it. I love it. I've become more spiritual through it, just learning and just using my hands, and I just get away from everything and focus on the clay. So I'm loving this. So in all of this, we've gotten to where we can throw a decent mug or bowl or whatever. So we wanted to come up with a strategy to figure out how to market some of our bowls and mugs and things like that we throw together and actually fire in the kiln. That's another thing. After a few throwing several mugs and bowls, we decided, hey, I like this. I think we could keep going. Why don't we go out and get a kiln? So we actually bought a decent kiln. I'd say decent. It's not huge for mass production, but we could get quite a few bowls and trinkets into that kiln. So that's where we are. So we're trying to figure out how to market this. So just the other day, yesterday actually, I sat down and I decided to sketch on a sheet of paper a drawing. But what first came to mind was something related to the cross or to Jesus. So I sat down, I said, okay, I'll just throw some things together and see if I can come up with a neat little symbol or something that I can put on a mug or etch into a mug. So first I drew a cross. And then out of nowhere, just something come to mind to put 3 lines above the cross. And I'll tell you why I thought. But it was a little symbol that looked like this. Okay, just a cross with 3 lines above it. So if you look at this the first time, God can speak to you, and you could see how those 3 lines represent so many things from the Bible or from his teachings. To me, and I'll tell you now, what came to mind was, okay, it's the cross. And from the cross, Christ is our light. So it's the light that shines. So those 3 lines to me represented the light that shines from Christ. And then if you go to John 8:12, you'll see Jesus says, I am the light of the world. And if you follow me, you'll never walk in darkness. That's huge. I mean, he is our light. He is everything to us. So that's what shined to me. And that's where I thought of the 3 lines. I said, hey, let's make it a light. So 3 lines come up, and it looks like, but you can look at it. And since then, I've carved in several into several mugs. I've seen so much more. God says, hey, this represents this, this, this. I'm not going to tell you what all he's shown to me, but there's so many things that he can show you that represent. So our thought was we take a mug, all right, and if you're right-handed, so at the bottom in the front of the mug, you'll see a small cross. And that's just a little subtle reminder that you're drinking coffee or tea or whatever. You'll see the cross. It's just a subtle reminder. Now on the front, though, facing to everyone else, will be a cross and 3 lines. Of course, this would show up better once a glaze is on. So this would point outwards so that when you're out, you're drinking coffee at work or whatever, somebody sees it, oh, I like that, that's pretty, that's cute. What does it mean? So whatever God is speaking to your heart, even at that time, you can use it as a witnessing tool. So this is, us giving back to try to witness to others, to get the gospel out there. So this is where we started. And then all our mugs, I'm gonna make some left-handed mugs as well, but let's back up. So we'll have left-handed mugs as well. So basically, if you're left-handed, which you'll see the opposite. Okay, so that's kind of where we're headed, and that's what we wanted to market. So that's where we are. And of course, you can see that. To me, I think, oh, that's a great mug, and it's just a plain mug. Okay, and we hand through this on the wheel, but we have other mugs that we've thrown. Right. But also my first mug, and I'll show you just from trying to get better. But this was my first mug, and of course, see the glaze is horrible, but it's heavy. It's not very deep. It doesn't hold much coffee, and the handle is just so awkward. It just so heavy, I can't handle it. So, but it was one of my first mugs that I made. And the glaze was an underglaze, and then we had a clear glaze over it. So I had I don't know what color that was, and I realized, hey, I didn't put it on very thick. And then, of course, the blue, and I sponged on a darker blue, which you can barely see, but it didn't, and then put a black or really dark brown across the top rim. Just something. It's something to experiment with, and we've been experimenting with a lot of things. So I've gotten better with making mugs. We've done some things like little cups, which this is kind of one of my favorite, kind of like a bathroom cup. Sit in the bathroom, maybe put your toothbrush in, whatever. And we've been experimenting a lot with glazes. So what the clay we started with was a clay, 06, cone 06. Rocky Mountain clay. So we've kind of moved around and tried a Laguna, and then we also purchased a cone 6 clay, which is a little higher fire. So we've been learning a lot, but we also have done some things. This is actually like my first bowl. You can see the rim. See how it's like wobbles there. So we're calling our pottery perfectly imperfect, because that's what it is. We're not great. We're not great potters. We're not going to be great. But we do some things, and it's just, just make a great candy bowl or something like that. But we're having fun. We're having fun with it. My wife, she loves to make these, what she calls them, little salt bowls that hold salt. And this was really neat. I don't know how she does it when she first throws it and it comes out. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. That looks ugly. But when she finishes, it looks so great. So this is a neat little salt bowl. And then, of course, she asked me to throw a lid. So I'll throw the lids for her and have a neat little salt bowl, right? So she's really good at making these little salt bowls and doing some different colors. And then, of course, I'll make the lid for it. Ring bowls and maybe little trinket bowls for whether salt bowl. But you can see the ring bowl, you can put your ring on it. But she'll do little things, and they really turn out. I really like them. But she does well with it. I can't make a ring. I've done several. Like I tried to make this started as a coffee mug, and it ended just come out to a bowl. And then in the process, I did something and hit the side, and I said, "Hey, we'll just squeeze them in, and we just make like a candy bowl or something." I don't know. We'll make it work, right? Pottery is just something. It's just reaches into your soul and just it makes you one with the clay, and it's just you become spiritual. I truly believe that, and that's why our focus is with the cross and using this as a witnessing tool. So anyway, also we have an Etsy store my wife put together. She's the marketing genius. I'm just usually the gopher, do whatever I'm told. But I love to throw mugs. I love to throw bowls, pottery. We're subpar, sub-amateur at best, but it's fun. I love it. So if you want to learn more about us, you go to our Etsy store and maybe a webpage, what other links down below. And if you like what you see, hit subscribe. And what we'll do is we'll do some more videos where maybe I throw. Again, I'm so amateur, but I'm also a teacher. And I would love to sit down and maybe teach some things, or even my take on how to throw a mug, how to prepare a mug, how to sketch or trim, whatever. And also we just want you guys to just join us on this path. We have no idea where it's going to go or where it leads us, but we hope that God leads us, and this becomes a great thing, and a great thing that we do for God and to praise Him and have fun at it. So thank you. Hit the subscribe, like us, all that good stuff. I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't know. But thanks again.